Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I'm your host Jake Combs, and tonight we're going to be looking at Warcrow Adventures from Corvus Belli. Now, this is a prototype copy that they are sending to the reviewers, basically taking turns with and passing it around. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, it did just finish its Kickstarter run. It was quite successful there. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I know for somebody getting a fresh copy of this, it's not going to be packaged the same as this. The packaging on this is a little chaotic. We do have the initiative tracker. We have a couple tiles for gameplay. Specifically, it looks like 3 there. Okay, there's a few more. We have a printer copy of the rulebook. Like I said, this is the prototype version. We have a bag of dice. We have states cards, which I'm guessing is for statuses. The bag for enemies. So here's another tile. This one is a little scratched up. We have basically the states and game rounds. Definitions, wound tracker, wounds and stain. Consumable cards, which I'm assuming is items that you basically use and can lose. That's another character. These are general markers. Another character. And another character. We have a drawing that says Warcrow Adventures, thanks for supporting us. We have a insert about Warcrow. And then we have this insert, which is the contents for the demo. Specifically, is 4 character miniatures, 5 enemy miniatures, 3 enemy cards, 4 character sheets, 4 tiles, the 11 equipment cards, 8 ability cards, consumable item cards. So basically going through the main things that we just covered. Now, there is a dark energy cube, which I actually did not see as I was going through these, which tells me that it's probably in with all these miniatures. Let's see, make sure there's nothing under it. All right. So the first section of it is empty. All right, next one we have is one of the enemies. This is another of the enemies. Here we have one of the heroes. Another enemy. So that covers the 3 different enemy types. We have a duplicate enemy. We have the second hero model. The last duplicate enemy. Another one of the heroes. And then the final hero. So that covers the models there. So let's set the box aside. So looking at these are made of resin. Now, the Kickstarter models are also resin. I'm assuming that there will be some assembly required when you get these. Obviously, these came assembled already because another reviewer had them before me. But looking at them, you know, as to be expected from Corvus Belli, there's a lot of great detail on the models. definitely like the overall look. Now, probably due to some of the wear and tear between going from reviewer to reviewer, the staff on this kind of glaive axe thing is a little warped, where this one is much straighter, but still got some warpage as well. So it's not perfectly straight, but overall the quality of the miniatures is quite high, which is something that we've come to expect from Corvus Belli. And looking at the pictures of the models on the Kickstarter compared to these, the quality looks very much the same. So I'm expecting the quality of the final version of the models being very similar to these. But overall, these look like they would be a great time for painting, especially this wizard character with the kind of energy arcing from their hand to their staff, as well as this archer himself. He's got a leaf cloak with a lot of detail on it. Looks like some furs as well, and you got some like kind of a tree that he's kind of standing on part of, and then his cloak has a lot of wear and tear details. Overall, just a lot of great detail on there, a lot of character. I love the dynamic poses as well. Definitely makes painting them a bit more fun. So definitely would love to paint these guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the characters. Now, that archer character is Darok, a wildling, I believe. Yep, just saw his picture. So here is his card. So for his energy and actions. In here we do have some energy tokens, which are these clear cubes, which those you can buy directly from the Corvus Belli store currently. Now, some of these materials that we have here are printed and not the final product. This, I suspect, is a precursor to the final product, and most likely will be a little bit thicker in the final version. Now, I do really like the detail on the map tiles. I do wish that they were double-sided, so that way you'd get a little bit more character to them. So that way, you'd have more unique configurations as far as your map goes. But, overall, it's not critical to gameplay as far as, how the map details look. But there is an app for this game as well that you can actually use, or you actually have to use in conjunction. So this kind of dwarfy halfling looking character is Soka, something like that. Doesn't say what race she is, but she looks like a dwarf or a halfling, something like that. Probably because of how stocky she is, I'm guessing more of a dwarf. But the details of the character cards are really high. I really like that. And one thing I really do like about this is that the characters come with their stats instead of you having to download or print off your own cards, kind of like what you have to do with some of the Infinity models. Now, this game itself is a dungeon crawler. Here we have Nara. She's the wizard-like character. At least the main sorceress that you actually see the energy arcing from. She's a master spellcaster, is her actual class. Which is interesting because she says master spellcaster, but on Zoka it says, and we're in the same spot, it just says watch out. So maybe that's her class. No, because the wildling says accuracy there. So not really sure. So maybe it's kind of more of a like a master skill for them. Here we have the consumable cards. Those are things like bandages, gold coin, balm, Panacea, Solar Nettle Oil, Red Moon Elixir. So basically things that can, kind of help you throughout the campaign. And so basically the way the game works is, you do put out the tiles based on what the campaign mission for the map, or for that campaign mission according to the app. Here's Ludivine or Ludivine. She's a harbinger of Celes. So it's interesting that, like, with the two kind of magical characters, they kind of have more of their class listed there, where the other two are just kind of like more of like, warning and an ability. So not really sure why there's differences there like that. But definitely like the art style. Even with this being a pre-production edition of the game, it's still a pretty good looking game. Like, if I were to get this in as far as like this level of quality as the final product, I wouldn't be too disappointed. Compared to their Infinity line, I would expect a little bit cleaner copies, maybe a little bit thicker on the card stock, not the paper feel to it, but overall it looks really solid. I really like the tokens. I'm curious to see what the stain tokens do, or what they designate. Now with the dice, we have 3 dice of each color: green, black, red, yellow, orange, and blue. I believe each color is designated for each character. And so, as I mentioned before, this is the initiative tracker. Basically, what's interesting about this is, and the initiative is quite fluid throughout the game. So like as you go, you might be the next in line, but an action that has been done has basically moved you further down the line, or move somebody ahead of you, something like that. So it's not always going to be the same every time. So that dynamic aspect of it is pretty cool. Now the states, as we saw on that card right here, so it's frightened, stunned, focused, and slowed. So these are basically status effects, but they called them states. But the icons on them are really interesting. Kind of almost look like they're meant to be like symbols of different elements. But they're really nice looking. It'd be really cool to get maybe a varnished wood token version of these. I think that would look really cool. Same with these right here. I mean, they almost look like they've already been painted or made to look like wood. Actually, looking at the side, they kind of look like they're made from MDF and printed on them. I think these are actually MDF that's just been printed. So maybe have them be etched would be a cool effect. But even as they are, they look really cool. And then the enemy cards are right here. So let's take a look at those. All right, so we have the husks, which are these guys. Kind of looks like zombie-ish. And they kind of look like they're made out of like oil. Then we have the marked, which are the guys with the kind of halberd axe things. And then we have the Keplicht, which is this guy. Not sure if I said the name right, but they definitely do cause some statuses. And then you also have their tokens right here, which go on the initiative tracker there. But definitely, again, I'm really liking the artwork, and definitely looking forward to giving this game a try. From what I've seen, it's a really cool concept. You have up to 4 players in the final edition as well. But from what I've seen, it looks like there's more characters available. It's basically a whole new intellectual property from Corvus Belli, where you actually or bringing on new races. It's a new world altogether, so it's not tied in with Infinity. It's not like a precursor to Infinity either. It's not like the same world in any way. So definitely some really cool stuff. Really looking forward to trying it out. Just wish that we were able to actually get in there and start painting these guys, because these are some really cool looking models. But I do know that there is another reviewer waiting for us to actually do our review and go through that as well, so that way they can have their turn. So definitely more things to come for sure on the game. We're not going to go through the rule book too much, because it is already starting to fall apart a little bit, so we want to keep that together. But like I said, really looking forward to it. The game looks like a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to trying out the app. One thing I did forget to mention about it is when you do have the maps, the app basically will create like a fog of war, so you don't actually see all of the enemies on the board yet. But as you move along, as you perform different actions, things become revealed on the map, and you can perform different actions and different feats. And it's kind of like almost like a choose your own adventure type story when you're playing, because the outcome differs based on your decisions, not just on how well you roll. So definitely some cool stuff to consider. And like I said, really looking forward to giving the game a try. But like I said, the models look awesome. Probably take some close-ups on the models later on, and probably post those to the TikTok so you guys can see them up close. But that'll be for a later date. But that's it for tonight. Thank you guys as always for watching. Thank you to Corvus Belli for providing this to us for our review. Like I said, we're definitely looking forward to playing it. And that's it for tonight. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I hope you have a great night.